Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old to history to anecdotes to really wherever our whims take us. Oh crossover town, we're back and we're looking at more Hanna Barbera and DC character mashups, or crossovers. It's not a mashup. A mashup would be if they were together, like the Amalgam universe, and that's a different thing. That's a story for another day. The first time we were here we looked at Yogi Bear meeting Deathstroke. Today, Nightwing meeting Magilla Gorilla. Why? Cause, well, Nightwing. If it's got Nightwing in it, I'll probably read it. This crossover comes from the second wave of these crossovers released by DC and first appeared in October of 2018. These crossovers followed an attempt to bring Hanna-Barbera characters into the DC fold via comics, with a 2016 Hanna-Barbera Beyond, which didn't yield stellar results, even though some of them were actually quite interesting. The one that had the longest staying power was Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. It was the only one that went over 12 issues. Again, some were really interesting and worth checking out though. Snagglepuss. And now we have these crossovers. Now crossovers, as I say every time, aren't for everybody, but they've always interested me. So let's see the circumstances that bring together Nightwing and Magilla Gorilla. Also, side note, last time I was remiss. I made an error. I said that a certain creature that fought Deathstroke was Squiddly Diddly, but really he was Orphle Octopus. I was corrected, and rightfully so. Now I must live with my shame. Shame. But before we get started, I'm Sasha, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join us on this comic book journey. For those who ask where the join button is, it's down next to the subscribe button. For those who say, what join button? I don't see it. I also have a coffee. But now to a world of ex-boy wonders and gorillas that cannot be sold. The cover lets you know what style of story you're in for the most part. It's a murder mystery. I love the image of Nightwing using a magnifying glass. We all know he has too much bat tech to really need one, but still, fun concept. Magilla is actually dressed very faithfully to his original 1964 costume, albeit looking more realistic than normal, but not jarringly so. Not to the extent of, say, Daffy Duck in that Daffy Duck and Joker crossover from the Looney Tunes and DC characters crossovers that also happened. Crossovers everywhere. Rated T for teen. I like to imagine that that's purely because it's a crossover. Like, whoa, the kids can't handle a concept this zany, quick up that rating. The old Hollywood style variant cover is fun too. Like it's some gritty neo-noir. It's not, but we'll add the appropriate neo-noir music anyway. This story is written by Heath Corson with art by multiple people, changing like 10 pages in. So I'm gonna put the credit sheet up and you can look, because otherwise we're gonna be citing like it's a college essay. The story is A Shrewdness of Apes. You know what? It could have been punnier. May I suggest The Apes of Wrath? Dick has been getting calls from Mel Peebles. In this world, he's an agent, and he's been desperate to get in touch with him. Mel to get in touch with Dick, that is. And after being pursued for a while, Dick has finally acquiesced and he's going to meet him. Blue skies, salt spray in the air. Yeah, I could get used to this. Malibu life for Dick Grayson? Although, I mean, I imagine most places are nicer than Gotham. Except for Bloodhaven. That's not nicer. Sorry. Bloodhaven. Peebles wouldn't tell me who I was meeting. And yet, you went anyway. Dick, say it ain't so. Don't make Bruce fire you again. All be revealed, my boy. Dick Grayson, say hello to Magilla Gorilla. Oh man, they're posing him watch first, so you know he's rich. Gotta see the diamond on his wrist. Wait, you're the Magilla Gorilla. So in this universe, Magilla is a big-time movie star and Dick is a big fan. He's always wanted to be a movie star. No, he actually hasn't. He's just fanboying. I laughed so hard at that film, popcorn came out my nose. Okay, 1, that sounds painful. 2, I don't know if a movie called The Monkey's Uncle can qualify for the title of film. I don't get starstruck easily, but I love Magilla's movies. Oscars, every box office shattered. This guy's a giant. What does he want from me? I mean, as Bruce Wayne's ward, wouldn't you just assume money? That's what I would assume whenever somebody randomly called me. Oh, you know, Mr. Wayne, can I get a grant? You are going to wish it was money, because it's about to get real weird. It's gonna get real weird up in here. This is why I brought you here, Dick. Presto, welcome home. He's recreated the tent and environment where his parents died. Yay. Run, Dick. It's not too late. You can still leave. What is this? Isn't it obvious? No, it's not. M the G is gonna make a Flying Graysons movie. Why? Why? I mean, isn't what happened to Dick more of a Lifetime biopic type of deal? Especially if you don't know he's Nightwing. It's like a movie they'd play leading up to Christmas, but not entirely Christmas time because it's not quite there yet. This all makes Dick slightly uncomfortable, but he goes along with it and practices routines with Magilla, who is in his recreation of a Flying Graysons costume. I feel his panic, hands instinctively fly open, practically flinging me against the net. So it's also unsafe. Great. What if Dick had been out of practice? Again, he doesn't know. They offer Dick a producer role, but he turns it down. He says he's not ready for the story of his family to be made into a movie. And he also asks why. Like, are we just cutting it before Bruce takes him in, or are we following through after? Because then don't we need Bruce Wayne's permission for his likeness and just the story rights and a whole bunch of things? This was not thought through. You know there's no way Bruce is signing off on this at all. Magilla flies into a rage, screaming at people, saying he thought it was a done deal. Well, that's what happens when you just invite people over and don't tell them why or what or where you're going or who they're meeting. Anything can happen. They can say no, and no means no.
You lose me the Kong reboot to my ex-protege, and now this debacle?
Dick is now in an angst trauma spiral thanks to Magilla. I drove up and down the coast for hours, the same thought echoing in my head. How has it been so long since I last thought of them? Used to be little things would set me off. He's pulled from his thoughts hours later by news that Mel Peebles has been murdered, and Magilla is the top suspect. Well, he didn't come to Malibu without his costume, even if he did go down without knowing where he was going really or who he was meeting. He was half prepared. He arrives just as they're about to arrest Magilla, and for some reason he decides to interrupt this. He believes him when he says that he didn't do it, so he helps him evade custody. Vigilante Gorilla movie star team up.
Where to?
We need access to the crime scene. Yes, nothing like investigating the crime scene with the lead suspect. Did Nightwing learn nothing? He learned nothing. Magilla is convinced he's being framed. Nightwing, meanwhile, is so invested in this, he called Babs in on it so we could get the security footage. I wonder how that call went. Hey, Babs. What's you doing? Magilla then relays his backstory, how Peebles took him and his sister in, encouraged them to follow their dreams.
When I turned pro, Mel became my manager, and as my career grew, so did his.
But you fought.
Of course. Do you and your father always see eye to eye?
Plus like a million points to this comic for acknowledging that Nightwing also views Bruce as his father. I need all the Bat Dad in my life, wherever I can get it. Yes, that means I enjoyed Nightwing 74 a lot. Also, I enjoyed Red Hood 48. Dad Bruce for the win. I nearly said Daddy Bruce, but that's a whole other thing. Nightwing needs access to a crime lab, and it turns out that Magilla is producing a CSI style show, so he has a full-on functioning forensic set that he's using. Okay, I mean, it's your money. Here we go. Looks like gorilla hair. Nightwing is starting to get suspicious, but Magilla claims that he does have an alibi. It's just not a very good one. He was going to meet his sister, Margaret, aka Maggie, who went down the dark path of Hollywood and is now a drug addict, along with her wastrel boyfriend, Dylan. Well, science isn't getting them anywhere, so it's time to try magic. And I'm not joking. They go to Madame Xanadu and get a tarot card reading. Strength. 3 of them, all Magilla. I thought there was only 1 per deck. The gathered presences are adamant in their message. Nightwing is really trying to back Magilla, but all of the evidence is just lining up against him. Even the tarot card reading, the cards are against you. The heart of the cards. What did you do, Magilla? They go to meet with Mel's administrative assistant. She finds a message.
Magilla? No, stay back!
That's when I started to wonder, is Magilla playing me? That's when you started to wonder it took this long? Dick, what did Bloodhaven do to you?
Nightwing? I'm not the only gorilla in showbiz.
Grape Ape! Oh my god, Grape Ape, the return! He's recovered since his encounter with Deathstroke. Oh yes, there was a Grape Ape cameo in the last issue, but this time he's got a full-on role. This is the time of Grape Ape. He's out at a club with Beagle, his BFF and handler. Magilla had tried to mentor Grape Ape, but it didn't work out. He was put off by his young upstart attitude, and so when a big role came up, he told the director that Grape Ape was difficult, which lost Grape Ape the role. And worse than that, Magilla got the role, and then the role turned into a franchise. So Grape Ape is bitter and convinced that he did it on purpose. And I mean, why would you not assume that? It is Hollywood and media, and there's lots of stuff happens. And so Nightwing and Magilla get into an argument that parallels some of Dick's experiences with his father figures growing up.
He didn't respect the craft, the work.
You torpedoed him.
I protected him. He would have failed.
You don't know that.
The stakes were too high. I sleep fine at night.
In Nightwing's mind's eye, he realizes he's made similar decisions when it comes to Damian and stops rebutting.
But I don't have to lecture you about tough choices, do I, Mr. Grayson?
Oh man, he knows. Quick, throw him off the sign. No one will know. I'm sure Bruce taught you how to make it look like an accident. What?
Please, human odors are like fingerprints, and your musk is exactly the same as when we were on the trapeze. Sandalwood. Hint of vanilla citrus notes.
So you're saying he smells good. Don't make this weirder than it already is. It was already weird. And now I know that Nightwing smells like sandalwood, my default go-to candle. What is my life? But then a picture comes through of a gorilla dressed in Magilla's suit riding on top of Beagles' van. Yes, please, anything to break that moment. Absolutely anything. A dancing banana, I don't care. I know you're Musk. Just stop. This is not an erotic werewolf movie. Okay, so here's what went down. Beagle commissioned Dylan to kill Mel and frame Magilla, which Dylan agreed to for the money for drugs for him and Maggie. Not so fast. Why'd you do it, Beagle? What did Peebles ever do to you?
Peebles? Magilla Gorilla tried to sink my boy and mess with my money. No way!
Oh great, Grape Ape is there. Now he's fighting Magilla. But then he gets enraged when he learns that Beagle killed Mel. Aw, Mel would be happy to know that so many people care about him. That's nice. I hope he also knew this while he was alive.
I did it for you, Grape Ape. You never needed Magilla. I created Grape Ape, and I'll destroy him too.
Wow, that took a turn.
No!
Oh no, Magilla. Help's on the way, just hang on. Grape Ape and Magilla have a heartfelt moment that a year later is hitting the big screen as part of the Grayson biopic that Magilla wanted to make. Yeah, I gave him the rights. Magilla's stubborn, conflicted, proud, but also honest, determined, and decent. Nobody better embodied my father. Also, Grape Ape is playing Dick in this movie? What is this? I need to watch it. And the film is dedicated to Mel Peebles, hooray! Just what I'm sure he would have wanted. So much better than being alive. Watching Magilla up there in his element, working with his protege, his family, he's happy. Isn't that what we all want? To find the people that'll catch you when you fall and call them family. I'll miss you, Mom and Dad, but I'm in good hands. Roll credits. Magilla and Nightwing, everybody! I mean, I had no idea what to expect from this team up in the first place, but this was not it. The premise is ludicrous, and I'm completely here for it. It just left me with so many questions about Dick's judgment and about this movie and why anybody ever wanted it made. I like to imagine that Dick hired Deathstroke to take out Grape Ape when he tried to make Dick Grayson spin-off films. That's my headcanon and I'm sticking to it. Let me have my fun. I will force these universes to connect. I will put a square peg in a round hole. This comic gave me more Nightwing introspection than I was expecting, and I felt more for those little windows into Dick's thoughts on family, past and present, than Magilla's struggles. But that's probably because I'm more attached to Nightwing. The story wasn't bad, even if it did stretch your disbelief at points. Especially with Nightwing just hanging with Magilla like that, but he did say he was starstruck. I mean, I wasn't expecting a noir-esque adventure, but again, I don't know what I was expecting, so this worked fine. Also, this is a genre, neo-noir that is, that I really enjoy, so that gave it some bonus points. But if it's not something you enjoy, then probably detract some points. The payout better have been worth it for that Grayson family movie though, that's all I'm saying. What did you think of this? I'm still not entirely sure what to think. Maybe I never will be, and maybe that's okay. Share all your thoughts down below. While you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. And thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it. I said that really fast. Flash fast. Good. Never a bad thing to be flash fast. I'll see you again soon. Actually, that's not true. It probably is a bad thing sometimes. Rambling. Bye-bye.